What's up, and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast. I am Brad Valdez, and we have Donte Ellison here, J-Town head coach, man. Glad to have you back on, man.
Blessed to be back. Thankful that you, got our relationship good enough that you actually wanted me back.
Now, you guys had a historical season. We're going to get into. You guys had some key losses, but you guys got some returners that are going to be back. That's all what we're going to touch on. We're going to touch on the good, bad, the ugly of your season. First off, man, go ahead and promote like your fundraisers, or if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how would they get a hold of you?
You can get it. The number one fundraiser that we're looking at now, that we're really beating, is getting people to come sponsor, have an advertisement banner. J-Town was blessed enough to be one of the first schools to get new stadiums. So we get new turf, we get new stands, we get a new track, new restrooms, all that stuff. So J-Town's going to be shined up and pretty. So we would love for people to go out and buy an advertisement banner. Because if you was at any of our games this year, especially the DeSales, Holy Cross, our alumni game, we have a lot of people there. So if you are a business, if you want people to buy stuff, you can buy a banner from us. If you really want to get in contact with me, my Twitter is D Ellison, or Coach Ellison. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll actually list. I'll just put it on here so you can see it.
Yeah, I had to change it because I wanted to be more professional than the Twitter that I had whenever I was in college. But yeah, really just hit me up on Twitter, just to get in contact. But that's our biggest fundraiser. That's the biggest thing that we want to push right now. Like, we're gonna be doing other stuff, like hopefully derby cleanup and different stuff like that. But we're not really selling anything outside of having people buy an advertisement banner or buying a team meal, which is very, very vital, because with the time change, we can't just tell kids, hey, go out and go get food and come back. Like, if we have prime example, we play Valley at Valley. Game started at 7. Valley from J-Town is a year away. So we was literally on the bus an hour and 20 minutes after school ended because we had to get here at 7. So having a team meal is super vital, and it's expensive.
Yeah. So, like I said, I will put all his information right down here so you can get a hold of Coach. And that's like the big thing is what I'm trying to push now, just because we're in the off season, we're lifting, everything's happening right now. Coach has actually left track practice early to get here, so but he's trying to do whatever he can to promote J-Town, man.
J-Town in general, not just the football. I'm a big believer in J-Town, the school, the sport, just everything in general. I'm a very genuine patient. I feel like if something bad was about J-Town, I wouldn't be out promoting it. I think J-Town's a great school. I think it's always been a great school, but it's just one of those schools that gets left out for whatever reason, and hopefully we can change the narrative.
Yeah. You guys just won the district championship for basketball.
We did three years in a row. Shout out to the basketball team, because that's who really the reason why we good in football. Because our basketball team, our best players are basketball players. So if any young coach, if you wanna know the key to success, one of the big reasons is be tight with your basketball program, basketball team. Feed us all the athletes that we have.
And there you go. Okay, and there's also this one guy. This guy tweets, once in a while, but when he does, he does some blasphemy stuff sometimes, and because he had one tweet. And you said LeBron James is the best to ever lace him up.
Oh, for sure.
Come on, man. I know he just hit 40 G's, but come on, Coach.
Coach, I promise you. You line up. Who you think is the best? Jordan. Okay. Line up the 6 times that Jordan lined up in the NBA Finals. Line up who LeBron went up against.
He don't even have that many titles, though.
Did Jordan go against Steph Curry? No. Did he go against KD? No. Did he go against Draymond? Did he go against Clay? Jordan went up against an old
Olajuwon, Drexler, Malone.
Trash.
Oh, come on. You're talking about some of the 50 greatest players, man. You just said they're trash.
So who's better than Steph Curry and KD?
Well, you got what? Ray Allen, You got who else? You got who's the 3-pointers, man? Kyle Korver.
Cal Korver does not belong in the same conversation. I'm just saying I think LeBron is the best because LeBron had these unworldly expectations and he knocked them all out the park. Only blemish that you can really say that's on LeBron's record is him losing to Dallas. You can't defend that, but people want to skate over the fact that Michael Jordan was in the league for like 7 years and he was getting spanked in the first round. Now I must say, once he got over that clip, and he was running through everybody like cheap toilet paper. But people forget that for the first 6-7 years, he was getting spanked. Like he was playing versus Larry Bird, versus
he's got the Jordan rules. There's no LeBron rule. LeBron's what is he? What's he known for?
Dunking, passing, shooting, everything.
Flopping.
Yeah. But everybody does. I promise you, if you put LeBron in the 80s and the 90s, he would run through them. I think so.
Comment down below who you think is the GOAT of all time. Do you agree with Coach? Do you agree with me? You had to go through Barkley, Malone, Drexler, Olajuwon. You had to go against.
You can't name one more person.
Jet. He had to go through. No.
You can't name me one more person that was on that 92,
John Stockton
at 92 Suns team. Nobody there. It was Charles Barkley. Nobody else. John Stockton and Karl Malone was damn near in the nursing home whenever they played.
Come on, Coach. Come on.
And Jordan played in an era where nobody was shooting threes. Twos are worth more than threes, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And on top of it, LeBron plays in a league where people are scoring 100 a night. That finals game between the Jazz and the Bulls, I think the score was like 82-78. They wasn't even scoring.
Okay, Coach. Well, I guess we're just going to have to move on from this because make sure you comment down MJ for me and for LeBron for this guy over here. We're going to fight. We can fight all day on this subject. But listen, man, you also on Twitter, man, you're saying like you're reading books, man.
Right.
Like what's I'm horrible. I haven't read a book since I left high school.
Right.
But what's the purpose behind you? You know what I mean? Reading books.
It was one of my New Year's goals of going out and being able to read. I don't know about you, but I was a terrible reader. Very, very terrible reader. I had a teacher actually tell me whenever I was in 4th grade, Miss Roberts, Lord rest her soul, she told me that, Donte, like, you can't be nothing in life if you can't read. And statistics told that you being a young black male and not reading on grade level, that you're going to end up in jail. So that always stuck out to me. I ended up going to college. I got 3 master's degrees, but even with the master's degrees, I never really had interest in reading. So during COVID, I kind of picked it up. So because COVID, there was nothing really to do. And then during Christmas break this year, I was just like, man, like, I want to read the Stephen A. book because I love watching Stephen A. work. I wanted to read the Will Smith book, the 50 Cent book. So it was just different people that I admired, that I saw, especially people that I saw growing up, and I wanted to read their life, and it's really just snowballed to me just falling in love with imagination, because that's what a lot of reading is just imagination. So it was me really tapping into different worlds, because I read a lot of different books, different spectrum of books. A lot of them I don't actually read physically. A lot of it's just audio books I can like flip through. But if there's really something that I really want to dive into, I definitely crack it open and read it firsthand. But reading is just is easy. It's easier to do whenever you're not forced to do it. And I'm a resource English teacher, and that's one of the big things that I tell the English department is a lot of these, especially these young minority kids, they're not reading because you're forcing them to read a book that they can't tap into, they can't relate to. Like, it's just like your mom making you eat broccoli. If you will never ever want to eat vegetables if the only vegetable that you have in front of you is something that you don't like.
Exactly.
So, but I'm a big advocate of reading. It's helped me calm down, or it's helped me to unwind when I come home from football, from some different things, just to read a chapter, clear my head. it's definitely been a positive thing. But it's came from me finding a genre of books that I like. And when you find something that you like, you'll keep on doing it.
Right, and that's one thing that I have on my list to do this year is to read one book,
Right.
and even a leadership book, just learning how to do lead men or just be a leader in general, you know. So that's it was just interesting to me that you're posting that on Twitter and you had what I mean, you said, oh, this is my thought and this is where
because I like a lot of people they'll tell you that I read blah 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 book, but they don't really tell you like why they liked it. Like outside of you saying I liked it because this art, like I want to tell you, like if I took my time to read this book, like this is the reasons why and what I got out of it.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love it. I just, what I mean, that's why I said it. These guys are more than just football coaches. You know what I mean? They got a life outside that, even though football and track, it's all year long.
Nah, for sure. Football's all year round. I think just we lost in the playoffs in November, so we gave them December off, but in January we was right back at it.
Yeah, and they're probably loving it too, right?
Nah, JCPS kids, at least the JCPS kids that I coach, they are allergic to the weight room. But we tell them the weight room is where all the grit comes from, all the speed, everything that you want, you got to earn in the weight room.
Yep, and from this past story, man, you guys had a historical season. You went 9-2, 4-1 in district. Right. That one district loss was a heartbreaker. We can go over that, a little later, man.
Right.
But what was a story from like this past season that you wanted to tell, man? Like just a story.
I think the number one thing is just turning the narrative, flipping the page from what people have historically thought of J-Town. J-Town historically has struggled a lot of years. At least I was born in 91. I think since I was born in 91, I think J-Town's I've only had maybe 4 winning seasons in 32 years. And it's not that J-Town hasn't had the talent. It's just, being able to get kids to come out. But I think the biggest thing for us this year was really turning the narrative and learning how to win. Like going 0-10 last year, it sucked, it hurt, but I felt like us going through that was able to drive us to understand of like, okay, we don't want to go through that, so what do we have to do to overcome that? And earlier it started off with our first scrimmage. We was able to gain some success, and then we were supposed to play Nino and them the second scrimmage. But they got canceled because of whatever reason with JCPS. But then we was able to start off fast. And that's why I tell all young coaches you want to be able to compete your first few games. Because if you're able to compete, you're able to get confidence. And a lot of kids that we have, the more confidence they get, the more they believe. If the very first 2 games that you face, you're losing by 50. Like our first game last year, we played Fern Creek. Fern Creek, Abel does a great job. They was light years ahead of us. It really killed the spirits of a lot of our guys. So I'm not saying you got to get a game that's going to be a layup game, but you got to have a game to where the kids can come back Monday and say, "Damn, coach is right. Like this is like if we do this, then this is going to happen." So I think the biggest thing with our season is learning how to win and learning how the actions that we do in practice in the school building affect what we do on Friday nights.
Yeah, so basically that was like you're good for the whole year then, man. That was like the good, because they usually go like good, bad, ugly, man. Right. But that was like you're good.
Right. I would say the bad thing is understanding that winning is not your friend. So I think we got the points last year that we was looking at the team's records instead of focusing on who they had. And I always told our guys, like, winning is not your friend. Like, if you think winning is your friend, then you're going to show. So it's going to show. So we definitely had some letdowns last year when it comes to just our performance. Like, I always, harp on our guys, like, we're only team that can beat us is us. Mm-hmm. And if you allow the other team to gain confidence, if you allow the other team to think that they can play with you, that's what's going to happen. So just understanding the process of winning, it's not a because we won 5 straight games that the 6th game is going to be a layup. So the team was young. We got a lot of our guys back, but that's one of the things that I feel like that was the hardest is understanding. Just because we're 9-1, North Oldham, which is a playoff game, we lost there, and it's not going to come in here and just be like, oh, J Town's 9-1. Let's bow out. Like it's either you are the chaser or you the chasee. So.
Yeah, and the ugly part, man. You know what I mean. The ugly part is injuries, suspensions.
Right.
And did you have to deal with? Because I know a lot of your guys went both ways. And the one thing that I seen is man, you got a quarterback that is playing linebacker.
Right.
You know what I mean. So that's the ugly part too of it. You know.
Yeah, definitely going two-way. I mean, going both ways is just the name of the game, especially in JCPS with the where we're at. There's only a select few of six. I mean, there's only a select few of JCPS schools that don't have to go both ways. But most of our starters went both ways. We really didn't have to deal with that many injuries, knock on wood, for next year, and we didn't really have to deal with any suspensions or anything like that. Most of our guys was able to corral each other. But you know, either we cry about it or we get the best guys gotta be out there. And Ray was able to step up, and we was able to spare Ray in some moments to where he didn't have to play as much linebacker. But whenever it was nut cutting time, like our best 11 had to be out there, and he was definitely one of our best 11. I think Ray's one of the best linebackers in the city, and I think he's also one of the top quarterbacks in the city.
Yeah, because I was like, I went to Shawnee, I went to DeSales, I went to I was there a lot for you guys, man.
We was a Thursdays night bandits. So
yeah,
so that's what a lot of people was able to come to our game just because we played them on Thursday.
Yeah,
Shawnee, we played them on Monday, so it was like Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things like the best 11 got to be out there no matter what you play. It's just if you want to be the best, you got to show that you are the best.
Yeah, and you said you got a lot of like kids from your basketball, man. So you guys are really open with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Multi sport athletes.
Very much so. That was one of the very first things that the basketball coach told me. He said if you treat our players right, they're always open for you, and they pushed. I think our basketball coaches, Coach Rich and D-Law, they're heavy on telling kids like do multiple things, like the toughness, the grit, the hard nosed stuff. Like you can get that from football. So, but our best kids, Lucas McDaniels, Cam McDaniels, Kevon Shirley, our top. Who else? Jeremiah Slaws. I'm missing a few, but we had our majority of our starters skill wise was on the basketball team.
There you go. And now you guys did have some key losses, and I will just go over. You had Lucas McDaniels graduating, class 20 stud.
Yeah.
Cam Woods.
Yeah, big boy lineman.
Guy. Yeah. And Caden Ruff.
Yeah, guy.
Dude, man, I love that kid, man. He came when I had him and who was it? Him and Cam on, or no, him and Lucas were on, and then Cam and Cornish were on. But if you guys want to go and check out their player profiles and Coach's other interviews, man, he's been on here a ton, and I'm so happy that you know what I mean. You're episode number 1, man. So
definitely.
So it's exciting to have you know what I mean this relationship that we're building.
Right.
You know what I mean, that I can come out and just support you guys.
Yeah, our key guys, Lucas Cam, Ryan Moore, Demontre Stoudemire. We're missing 3 guys. We're missing 3 guys up front. So that's big, especially in anybody on JCPS. Like if you missing one lineman, it's like takes a lot. So we're missing a lot of production up front. Clearly, Lucas is self-explained. He's going to play college ball at a high level. But we're gonna have to. It's next man up. I love Caden too. Like I want to spot. Like Caden did so much for us throughout the entire year. Him running the ball, catching the ball, playing defense. Like we are tremendously going to miss miss Caden. We're definitely going to miss Demontrice, Cam, and Ryan up front because if you played us, you knew that we was going to run the ball. Like those three guys, those three hogs up front, like they was going to move stuff, and Caden was going to make moves. But we're going to miss all our seniors. But next guy up.
Next guy up, and let's talk about them. I got a couple. You know what I mean? We got Cam McDaniels.
Yeah, he was second team all state. One of the very few people in JCPS to do it.
Yep, Ladarian Smith.
Yeah, Ladarian is going to be a big part of our. He wasn't as big as a person on offense, but we feel like this year he's going to take more strides on offense and defensively.
Okay, and we got Cornish back, QB1.
Yeah, Ray's going to be back. We're going to. Last year we took. Last year I don't think people really saw how good that Ray can be at quarterback because a lot of times we were just giving it to Caden, but I think this year you're going to really see how great he can be at quarterback and the thumper at the middle linebacker position.
There you go, and you got Shirley back this year.
Yeah, Top. I think Top. If I can pick anybody, and because Top's he's gotten bigger. So last year he was playing D line. He was like 240. I think he played basketball for whatever reason. He's the only kid that I know to play basketball and gain weight. So, but he's like a strong 260, 270. So I'm definitely excited to see what Top can do whenever we put him at the 3 or the 1 technique. He was hard to block last year. Like anytime that we needed a defensive stop, him or Cam was the guy to get it. So I'm definitely excited to see what he does for his senior year.
Well, and you got, him playing a 1, and then you still got Cam at the 5, right? So he's playing, or is he moving around? Or are you going to move him around?
He definitely moves around. He can play all 3, the nose, the tackle, or the end. And so Cam. People don't realize Cam had 15 sacks, and that's what people rate about. But Cam also had, I think, 3 picks. So we were able to drop him down and just show his versatility to where the college coaches. If he can put his hand on the ground, but he can also drop back and get in coverage and do what he needs to do there also.
There you go. And then the one guy, the superstar, the true freshman that you had on your team, Westmoreland.
Right, Lebron. Yeah, Lebron's going to be somebody. I feel like if he continues to progress and continues to keep his grades up, continue to do all the things that he's doing now, he's going to be someone that I feel like that people will remember for a real long time. Ron is somebody that if you see him, he's built like Superman. He's like 6'3", 6'4", takes his shirt off. He already has like a grown man build, but he doesn't really talk much. He doesn't really say much, but when he gets on the field, he handles business. And that's why I always harp on him. Like everything that you want and pray for and dream for is ahead of you. Nobody can take it away from you but you. But you got to work, and it's easy to come in as a freshman. No one knows you, no one expects anything from you. But what are you going to do these next 3 years to validate what you've been doing? Because he led the state in touchdown returns, and I know for a fact Ron is somebody that this year we're going to rely on heavily offensively. But he can do it both sides of the ball. His thing is just being consistent and not allowing. Don't play down to who you're playing with.
Exactly.
If you're gonna be a guy, you're gonna have to be a guy every game. You're gonna be a guy, you need to be a guy in the classroom. If you're gonna be a guy, you definitely got to be a guy in practice. So that's what we preach to him.
There you go. And that back end, you guys are going to be special with Smith and Westmoreland back there. It's going to be, go make sure you go and watch these guys this year and support J-Town. They got 2 key pieces that can play both sides of the ball. Smith, is he going to be on the offensive side though?
I think he's going to be more of our F, more of our kicker, more being able to guys to kick guys out on power, be able to throw it to him short, make him go long. Because Ladarian he's a 400 guy. So if you get Ladarian kind of like the way that Ruff was, if you get them going, it's going to be hard. You're going to see ass and elbows.
You get that track speed going.
Nah, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And let's touch on, let's touch on like your two tough losses, man. The one was a heartbreaker last second. Right. 6 inches short of winning that game. That was a phenomenal game, man. But the good thing is, man, you guys showed a lot of character, even though in that loss, you know what I mean? There wasn't no excessive personal fouls in that game.
Right.
It seemed like on other games, you know what I mean? You have like 2 or 3,
Right.
you know, you guys would get, but you guys were locked in against the Sales, and it was a phenomenal game.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Shout out to Coach Jackson and his program that he's doing. We circled that on the calendar. I feel like we had the team to compete with the guys in our district, and I feel like we proved ourselves that we was worthy to be on the field with them because they wiped out everybody in our district. Like it wasn't even close. But you know, I feel like we proved that we was the better team. But the Sales did what they needed to do to win. That's the only thing that matters. And that's what I told my guys. Like they was upset about this call or that call or this break. And I was like, at the end of the day, they won and we didn't. So how are we going to bounce back from it? How are we going to learn from it? But I think it was a great experience for J-Town just in general. Like you had the Sales has been in power. They won state back in 13-14. But they tailed off, but now that Jackson got them going, it was great. It was great for J-Town. It was great for the alumni of J-Town. I feel like it was great for the Sales because if you was anybody, you was at that game watching us, and we didn't disappoint. Sad that we couldn't get 6 more inches, but it's one of the games that many people are going to talk about from here on out.
Yeah, I'll talk. I mean, the last 5 minutes I have that isolated. So if you guys want to, and it's just game time. I think it's 6 minutes total,
right.
But it's isolated. Go and check that last 5 minutes out. It's worth it. So many things happened in that. It was wild, man.
Definitely, it was definitely the most exciting game that I've ever been a part of coaching or whenever I played because there was certain points that it was like, I don't think we'd be able to get back. And then whenever we was able to storm back, and then whenever they muffed the punt, I was like, oh, the football gods are with us. But,
And did you guys run like a little funnel? Were you guys running that funnel? Because I seen you guys having that 5, and then you were in that opposite A. You were in that 1, so I didn't know if you guys were trying to funnel.
The last play of the game?
No, I think it was like third quarter. I seen he was I think it was Cam out wide, and then you had Woods at the 1 or Shirley at the 1, and I was like, man, what are they doing? It's right there, and they never pounded right there.
No, I don't know.
So I didn't know if you guys were running a funnel or you know what I mean.
No, I think what we was dropping guys off in coverage because they was doing so much. They was doing so much hitches with number 1 and number 4. So I think what it was that we was dropping a guy off, and whenever we saw that because it was obvious whenever DeSales was gonna throw our pass from their quarterback, and if you did not have nobody out in the flats, number 1 and number 4 they was just gonna
eat
score.
you up.
So that's why I think it was more so whenever our DN saw pass, we instantly went to the flats to try to make a tackle or whatever.
No, okay, all right. And the last game, you guys were 9-1 going into this game. You played North Odom. Coach Roberts got them guys rolling, man. He's got them buying into whatever he's got, man. They're buying in.
Right.
But man, that was such a like smash mouth game in the beginning. You know what I mean? Westmoreland making beautiful plays out there. Schmidl, he had a top 10 ESPN top 10 play.
Yeah, unfortunately against us. That was a hell of a play. He deserved it. That was a one-hand catch. That was definitely nice. Hate that it was against us, but
but going into that game, man, you guys had a lot of confidence. Right. And I'm going to go on record right now and say I was going to pick you guys, and I couldn't get the video uploaded, but I was going to pick you guys to win that game because I thought you guys were going to be more physical. Right. But then these guys came out and they just punched you in the mouth.
Yeah, that was the 2 games that we lost, the Sales and North Odom. Both teams, usually passing teams, they end up running the ball on us. And Brock had a great game plan. At first it was early. At first it was tight. Ron had some great plays. Lucas had a 70-yard, beautiful one-hand to the crib catch. But it was just turnovers. Turnovers killed us. Ron ended up catching the interception on the 1-yard line, and that first touchdown was a was a fumble in the end zone, quarterback center exchange, fumble, and then coming out of the third quarter, we was only down. I think we was only down 3, and then we ended up turning the ball over, and then turnovers. And then every time in the season is killer. So I think we had a good game plan. It's just once the wheels fell off, then the wheels completely fell off. But Brock did a hell of a job. I just wish that we was able to just to seize the moment because we was there. But it's just once stuff starts to get going, especially in playoff time, and especially whenever it's cold, how it was stuff that gets bad real quick.
Yep. And what would you tell from now, like you've seen like Lebron intercept it and step out at the 1? What you know what I mean? Would you coach him up? Because I think it was 3rd and long actually when he did that. I had to go and recheck, but I think I said on the film, I said, man, I wish he would have just batted it down.
No, I just think you never want because it could be that time that he doesn't if he didn't intercept it, then they get it on 4th and whatever. Then the hell, why'd you do that for? So
exactly.
You never want to overcoach it. Because Caden had an interception too, and it was 4th and 20. And we would have got the ball closer, but guys are being guys. You think you never want to overcoach it. Anytime that you can get your shine and get your hands on the ball, do it because you never know. Ron and Caden, they're 2 guys. Like if they get a pick, Ron had six of them go back to the house. So I would never overcoach it. I would just be cognizant of where you at. Like if you can catch it clean and plant your 2 feet down and go north, then do it. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm just happy that I got to cover this season for you, man. And there's one other question I have, and this is the last one. What did you learn about yourself this season?
What I learned about myself, I learned that I love doing what I do. Sometimes whenever you in the depths of a bad season, you question yourself. You question if you really want to do it. Luckily I have a dope wife at home that she never allowed me to get too high, never allowed me to get too low. Because this year I was on some highs. We didn't even touch on it, but Holy Cross, we was able to beat Holy Cross, which nobody and their mom thought that we had a chance to beat them, and we was able to beat them they got the ball to the 5-yard line, and we was able to beat them. Stop them 2-3 consecutive times. So we definitely had some highs, but it's just just being able to understand of the things that I'm doing, these kids are understanding, and everything that I do is for a reason. Some of the small stuff, like giving kids rides, giving money, talking to parents, even though the parents may or may not agree with everything that you do. Dealing with some of the stuff that goes on in the school. This year was able to show me that it is worth it, and the stuff that I do does matter. Because I can tell you different stories about kids just coming in the office and chopping it up with me and thanking me for this season. And even my coaches being able to connect with them and coach, you've done this, you've done that, and being able to tell them the same thing to the kids and to my coaches. So that's probably the biggest thing is what I'm doing matters, and that I really love what I do.
Yeah, and let me touch on your coaching staff, because I have their whole interview, their whole playlist. Man, make sure you go and check his coaches out. Are all of them coming back?
I replaced one, but we only. Funny to say, I tell people this, we're allotted 6 coaches. J-Town was so bad that I could only get 5 coaches to come coach with me, or 4 coaches, including myself. They would have made 6. But the coach that I didn't bring back, he was just at another school, and I was like, they just had a coaching change. You should probably go over there and help him. And then I'm just, I've been blessed to add guys, but my coaching staff is great. They're very young, very, 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 very young. So that puts a lot on me. But through the years, I've been able to put a lot back on them. But they definitely keep me sane. They definitely, I definitely see a lot of myself in my assistant coaches. So I love them, and I always think they're girlfriends and their wives, because we take a lot of time away. I know I take a lot of time from my wife, so I know if I'm there, all my coaches is there. So definitely are thankful for them, and I definitely am excited for the coaches that I've added this year.
There you go. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment down MJ for me and LeBron James, or just put LeBron for Coach over there, man. It's been a great episode, man. Go out and support them. Watch the playlist. You get to know some of the guys coming back. Man, very exciting time. But like I always say, everyone has a story. I'm here for them to tell it. Cleats to Whistle Podcast.